Well, there's lots of crazy stuff going on, so let's get to it. A lot of people were surprised last week when reality TV couple and MAGA loyalist Todd and Julie Chrisley received a full pardon for tax and bank fraud totaling more than $30 million. And President Taco D was asked if he'd consider another high-profile pardon. Take a look.
I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him, I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know, he didn't tell me that. It's not a popularity contest, so I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
Oh. No one's buying it.
Okay, sure. Sean Diddy Combs has pleaded not guilty, as you all know, to all the charges and denied all the allegations. But if he is found guilty, is there any justification for Taco D to pardon him?
Absolutely not.
Taco D.
I think the pardons that, I don't even know what to call him anymore, Trump has been instituting to me just reinforces the very thing he had a problem with, which was the two-tier system of justice. You've got people with power and money, and then you have people with no voice and the powerless. He has this power to pardon, and he could use it with great purpose. You could go after nonviolent drug offenders and pardon them. You could look at elderly and medically vulnerable people. You could also look at people who their sentence guidelines have changed. If we're talking about waste in this government and all the cuts we're making, why not start with the prisons, pardon people, and cut some of that money right there? It would fix things rather than passing it around.
The presidential pardon power, as Alyssa knows, is it's such a significant power. And it should be used with purpose and intentionality. And I'm just sort of disgusted by what I've seen. Of course, presidents have been pardoning people for a long time, but he pardoned 1,500 people, and most of them were January 6th insurrectionists who had assaulted police officers. Violent people.
The guy would pardon Jack the Ripper if he was alive.
Yes, he would. And,
He's also British.
And
well, maybe he is alive. Tell him he's alive.
And then, when you think about Sean Combs, yes, he's denied his guilt, but the bottom line is I've been in that courtroom almost every single day, and we're hearing about women who were physically abused, who were sexually abused, who were mentally and emotionally abused, and the thought that he would just consider it, and he himself has been found, civilly liable for sexual abuse. So the fact that he would be so dismissive of these charges is really something that is shameful. It's just shameful.
Yeah. But the good news is that the lawyers are not working anymore. I don't mean to say that against lawyers, because all you have to do is get a pardon from him. You don't even have to get a lawyer to defend you anymore.
Yeah. Well, I also think there's a wrong signal going out with some of these pardons. So Senator Bob Menendez, who's been charged and indicted on a number of criminal charges, is now
guilty.
And yes,
he's behind bars.
He's behind bars, and he's put out a statement
a
basically talking about the system being wrong and sort of seemingly angling for a Trump pardon, similar to how Mayor Eric Adams did. And I'll say this, the Diddy case... Allegedly. The Diddy case is one where we've seen some of these celebrity causes where there's two sides to it. There's not really two sides to Diddy. I don't know anyone in public life who's like, oh no, he's a good guy and he's getting a bad deal here. Now the case is still being worked out. Whether he'll actually be convicted is very much an open question. But an interesting element to this is 50 Cent, who has a relationship with Trump. At times
Alyssa is all up on
I don't know, I'm very interested.
What, with 50 Cent?
50 Cent has had a bit of a relationship with Trump. He didn't ultimately endorse him and perform for him, but they have a relationship. He came out and said that he was going to talk to Trump about why he should not pardon Diddy, because he's been all on Diddy's things for years and been calling him out for it. So everyone's been on Diddy's thing.
Why does Trump like to pardon rappers? What is that about?
I think he likes celebrities. I think
NBA YoungBoy, Lil Wayne
Yeah.
and
He-
Kodak Black, and now this. What
I
is
think
that?
he sees people who have fame and followings as people that if he pardons them,
People
they're
with
going to go
power.
out and spread
Yeah.
his message. The Chrisleys, those are people that millions of people watched for whatever reason.
And they had a lot of money.
And to Sarah's point, I'd way rather see more Alice Johnsons, who he pardoned in his first term,
That
a
was
grandmother
appropriate. Yeah.
who was over sentenced, who had served her time.
Well, that's
who should be
the
focused on.
reason you really should pardon someone is because their trial was not necessarily done correctly.
That or they've served
or
a significant amount of
they've
time.
done
Well,
the
the
time,
DNA
or
shows.
they've been over, over sentenced. I mean, but so this is just kind of more clown show stuff.
And I should mention,
can I-
Menendez isn't in prison right now. He's under criminal indictment, and
Yeah.
he'll go to trial.
Can I mention something? Generally with these presidential pardons, there's an office at the Department of Justice that reviews each and
Not
every
anymore.
pardon application, but it doesn't seem to be happening anymore. It was very
Might have been
difficult.
cut by Doge.
It was very
It's
difficult
still
to
there,
get
but the
these.
priorities seem different.
They
Yeah.
seem very different, and they don't
They
seem
should
to
do
be
a show
doing
called
their job.
Who's Your Diddy?
Can I say one more thing? I also think that Trump, in terms of pop culture, is stuck in the 90s to early 2000s. He's frozen in time. So I'm pretty sure he thinks Diddy is still Puff Daddy and probably still dating
Yeah,
J-Lo.
he's dancing
I don't
to
know if he has any
YMCA.
concept. Yeah,
Four
he has
names
no
ago.
concept
You know
of where
what?
he is.
4 names ago.
It's at least 4
Yeah,
names.
yeah.
It's not a good signal to anybody.
No.
It's not a good signal to kids. It's not, everybody's always concerned about kids. They need to see, well, this is what you're showing them.
Yeah.
That it
No
doesn't matter.
accountability.
That's right.
That it doesn't matter. And you're making that normal. Or is it us who's making it normal? I guess we have to think about that.